What's going on, guys? Talnut here, and today I wanted to talk about Instagram DMs. This is going to be a follow-up to my last video. If you haven't seen that yet, go check it out. It's how you kind of grow an Instagram account, tactics, things to keep in mind while developing the account in general, getting the engagement. But I want to start by saying that there's been an update to Instagram that I think could provide quite a bit more impact and get a lot more engagement and a lot more value out of Instagram direct messages. I was going to make this video actually today anyways, but it's kind of perfect timing that this update came out, but we'll touch on that at the end. It's kind of it's a detail for the end. So to start out, I want to say that you don't want to start your Instagram account, get like 10 followers, and then immediately start using these DM tactics. I would say give it some time, grow the account, use some of the strategies that I went over in the last video, and get yourself to a good place. I didn't really start using DMs, partially because I didn't understand the value, but also partially because I knew I wanted to grow the account. I didn't start using DMs until I got to about 4,000 users on my gaming Instagram account. You want to wait until you have kind of an engaged and active audience. You don't want to, people will just click follow and it'll be very fleeting. It'll be very, if it's in the first few days, the likelihood of them unfollowing you is much higher than if, a month after they followed you, something like that. So, wait a while until you have that closed, active community that's kind of, with you for the long haul. They're there to hang out. They're there because they like your content. But now getting onto the DMs themselves, there are two primary ways to go about using Instagram DMs. The first is with your engaged users. And now this primarily revolves around, after you've got the audience that's there because they like your content, because they like your product or whatever you're branding, they're there because they like it. Once you're there, find those users that are kind of always there liking your posts. Sometimes it can be hard to find. You don't need to be perfect about it. But, if you always, go through the people that have liked it, and if you see over a couple posts the same people, the same names, you'll recognize them, recognize the usernames. When you see those people, those are the people you want to target. And generally, when you're messaging them, you want to be very cordial. Essentially, what you're going to be doing is you're asking them to go look at something. And I think it's very important to be, keep in mind that you're asking them for something. You're asking them essentially for a favor. You're asking them to, go check out your website, go check out your YouTube channel, moving them from one platform to another, essentially, to grow value on both. And so, I'll give an example. When I message somebody on my gaming Instagram account, I say, hey, I noticed that you have been liking a lot of my posts. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in hanging out, because I use it to promote my Twitch stream. So what I say is if you're interested in hanging out and chatting for a bit, I'll be streaming here on Twitch. My username's Talnut. You can go, see me there. And then, I get a pretty good reply rate of yeah, and no problem, kind of saying sure, you're welcome for liking the post and everything. And then I'll, reply back with thanks, or, just a response. Sometimes it can getting almost any message on Instagram can feel a bit spammy. So doing a follow-up, a second message, or even starting a conversation, if they start a conversation, kind of engaging with it, keep active. Don't just send that first message and then leave. If they reply, you reply back, kind of get something rolling. It's important for them to know that you're not just trying to, spam everybody and get as many clicks as possible. If you stay and hang out, you're building so much engagement. And sure, that's with one person, but do that 100 times. That's 100 people. Send them to your YouTube channel, send them to your website, whatever that is. Send them to go buy your product. That's 100 sales. That's 100 subscribers. That's and it's more just buyers and subscribers. They're engaged people. They're return clients. They're people that will come back and watch your videos. It's all about building that engaged audience, building that engaged client base. The second method of using Instagram DMs is messaging influencers. So Instagram influencers, if you don't know, is a term kind of used to describe somebody who's built up a personal brand on Instagram and become quite large. So, maybe they have 1 million followers, and the primary thing that they, post about is just what's going on in their life. Maybe they're not even really doing anything that special, but people, like their lifestyle. They like whatever they're doing. if somebody can gain a lot of power that way, and they do a lot of like sponsored deals and stuff like that. So if you're trying, let's say you make music, let's say you make music on SoundCloud and you're trying to get it out there. If that influencer is making YouTube videos and they use music in those videos, reach out to them. Be even more cordial now, because you're asking them for more than a favor. You're essentially asking them, for a larger favor than just a click. It's like, you're asking them for a shout out. And it's even, more businessy than that. So like, you need to be very like, they have the power, right? Like, because if you had the power, they'd be messaging you. They have the power, it's so easy for them to just pass over it, delete your message, whatever, never look back. But if, they get it, it's very important to be, very polite about it. Be as concise as possible. Say, in the music example, say like, hey, I make music on SoundCloud. Here's, a link to my most recent song. If you like them, feel free to use them in your videos. I would be honored if you did that. And, let me know if you want to talk about, work in the future, or, something like that. I think it's important to provide, going back again, they have the power, so it's important to realize that you need to bring them value. And so offering whatever it is you're doing for free, offering something to them for free is huge. Say you're selling like an athletic, if you're trying to start like an athletic apparel brand, you're reaching out to like a fitness Instagram influencer, offer to send them free apparel. Don't say, hey, come check out my website. Offer like, hey, this is my brand, these are my clothes. If you want, I can send you, some sample, no strings attached. You don't need to do a review. You just like, here's this. And the thing is, if it's a good product and they like it, they're gonna wear it. It'll show up in their pictures. They'll wear it to the gym. If the YouTuber likes your music, they'll use your music. They'll put your name in the description. They'll put your name at the end. You have to start small. You can't just immediately go to somebody huge and assume like, they're gonna put my name, on their Instagram account. They're gonna do this or that. You have to start slow. You have to offer them something, of value. And as the more value that you can offer them, then the more likely it is that they're gonna actually do something with it. Now, kind of getting onto the recent update to Instagram. It's kind of a big deal, and it revolves around links in these messages. Instagram has had a pretty strict rule on how you present links and clickable links on the platform. For a while, pretty much the only place you could put it was your description. If you had a new song you wanted to put out there for people to look at, you had to put it in the your bio of your account. And then in the description of your picture, you say, hey, got a new song on SoundCloud, go check it out, link in bio. And that was a way to get your engaged users there, because they would want to hear that. They were engaged in your content. But you don't get those, quick clicks quite as much. Those people that aren't necessarily engaged but see the picture, and, if there was a link there, they would click it, but Instagram didn't allow that. And as far as I know, they're still not allowed in the description of photos. What the update has essentially brought to Instagram is that you're now allowed to send links, clickable links, in direct messages. You didn't used to be able to even send links in messages. I would, for mine, I would say, I'm on Twitch. My username is Toddnot. You can find me at twitch.tv/Toddnot. But it wasn't clickable. They had to go type that in or search for me on Twitch, which, engaged people will do that. And, you get that 2% of everyone you message to do that. That's, that's a good, you do it 1,000 times, that's 20 people. It's not terrible. That's something. 20 is better than 0, right? And so now, what the update has allowed is you can now send links in messages. And I actually kind of stumbled upon this just by doing my direct messaging to engaged users. I would send the message, hey, I would send the same message, and then it popped up as a link. And it not even just a link, like a blue clickable link, but it gave a preview of what they were about to click on. So an even bigger button down below it that they could click on. That's a huge deal, because now, if somebody wasn't necessarily going to search it up, they didn't want to take the time to do that, they weren't that engaged, they could now just get the, if they just tap it, just because it's there and they're in the right mood, they can hit follow, they can see your streaming, they can see your music, they can see your YouTube video. Like, getting those quick clicks is now possible, and I think that's huge. I think it could take things from 2% click rate to like 10%. That's a huge difference, for those 1,000 people you message. 20 versus 100. 100's pretty nice. So I think it's a big deal. I think it's a big change, and it's even more reason why you should be doing it right now. And I'm gonna go do some right now probably. So now that I've gotten all excited about it, but yeah, I think that's about all I wanted to talk about for this. So thank you so much for hanging out. If you liked the video, make sure to subscribe. Go check out my other ones. I got more coming. And yeah, I don't know. Check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/TomNot. Links down below. And I'll catch you next time. Keep working hard. I'll see ya.